Okay, I think we're good. We're good? I'm gonna dump this whiskey.
Don't waste the whiskey, man.
Alright, so, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jake.
We are the Dirt Road Men. Here this week to talk about what?
Bourbon.
Bourbon. Wait. Last time I brought up the fact that this ticked off your father-in-law, you did it anyway, so.
Bourbon.
This video is kind of talking about Dirt Road Men and like who we are and what it's about.
This is way marginally better than any vodka.
This is my favorite brand of cigar, the Monte Cristo Classic.
The Constitution shall never be construed to prevent the people of the United States, who are peaceable citizens, from keeping their own art. He's gonna be driving in truck, you know. What was that?
He's gonna call one of us and just be like, alright!
We love you.
I asked you to stop, you're doing it more! I tell him to stop and he does it anyway. So, blame your son-in-law. So, as you've gathered, we're mostly whiskey and cigar, pro-America, pro-2A channel, and company. And we thought, even though we've told you kind of what a bourbon is in a video I'll link in the description, that we would give you 10 fun facts about bourbon. There's some statistics here. They're all as of 2017. We sourced them from one side. But here's some cool facts. Would you like to go first, since this was kind of your idea?
Yeah. Number 1. 95% of the world's supply of bourbon is made in Kentucky, which is also the birthplace of bourbon.
Kentucky's a fun place if you've never been there. We're also drinking Old Forester today. Look out for that review.
Phenomenal bourbon.
It is. However, Kentucky does not have to be made in bourbon. Bourbon does not have to be made in Kentucky. It can be made anywhere on U.S. soil. That includes Alaska and Hawaii, which would produce massively different results, I bet.
Oh, yeah.
At least Hawaii would. I mean, Alaska would too, but Hawaii's a tropical climate.
Yeah.
So I'd be interested to see how that works. Sounds like an excuse to buy some property in Hawaii if we get well off enough.
Yes.
And somehow start a distillery.
Yes, it does.
Or even just have random barrels. That we definitely would not distill ourselves.
Nope.
Without legal permits. Shut up. So anyway, fact the second. America's only native spirit, as declared by Congress in 1964, is bourbon. So even though you can have American whiskey and most ryes are made in the USA, I think they have to be made in the USA to be called rye. But I'm not certain because I know pretty much every Canadian calls all their whiskey rye. All of it. So that's something I should have looked up before we shot this video. But it is the American spirit. The American whiskey. Fact
Number 3.
Number 3, as he said.
Bourbon in Kentucky alone, is an $8.5 billion with a B billion dollar industry. It generates 17,500 jobs with an annual payroll of $800 million. Production and consumption pours over $825 million in taxes. That's your federal, state, and local. Every year.
Impressive. Fact the fourth. More than 1.1 billion in capital projects has been completed or planned under. That's poor grammar, man.
Planned and underway.
Yeah, I know, but has. It bothered me so much that I stopped.
Has been
completed or planned and is underway in the past 5 years as of 2017, and within the next 5 years.
Number 5. They have filled 1,886,821 barrels in the last year, breaking production record back to 1967, which was 1,922,009 barrels.
Wow. So apparently, you guys are really loving bourbon, which is great because that's like the number one thing we talk about. We review all kinds of whiskey, but if you look at our videos, we've reviewed way more bourbons than anything else. It's because we're bourbon guys.
Bourbon is the superior beverage.
It is. Partially because we have somewhat of a sweet tooth, and much more so because we have a persuasion that leans American.
Fight me about it.
Fact number 6. Since the turn of the century, Kentucky bourbon has skyrocketed more than 315%. In other words, 455,078 barrels were filled in 1999, as opposed to the 1,886,000 whatever he told you just a second ago. Here I am
Bob Seger, ladies and gentlemen.
on the road again. That's my name. Here I am. Okay, go ahead.
Number 7. For every person living in Kentucky,
We need to move to Kentucky.
there are 1.5 barrels of bourbon.
So there are more barrels than people in Kentucky. I don't know if you've ever been to Kentucky. It's really cool. There's a great, 600 acres of four-wheeler trails
Mm-hmm.
that I went on that we should definitely try out sometime.
The only state I have been in that I have not been with you in was Iowa.
Oh. Okay then. Boy, you've gotten around. I mean, you've been almost coast to coast though. Well, you've been almost to the west coast.
Yeah.
We would have been to the west coast if anybody besides me still had money.
You're just staring at me, but there were 3 people on our trip.
Yeah, I know. Well, I can't really stare at T-Bird. I don't even know if he watches our stuff, man. I hope so. If so, hi T-Bird.
Hey, buddy. I miss you.
Yeah. Come home soon, but don't make me get as drunk. No, God, don't make me get as drunk. And maybe don't get as drunk. You threw up a lot in my sink.
Did he really?
Yes. Deaf Seth is here and wants to say hello.
Hello.
Alright, who read the last fact? You read the 1.5. Alright. Fact number 8. 2016 tax assessed value of all barrel aging in Kentucky alone, Wyoming whiskey for instance is bourbon, is $2.4 billion. That's a $299 million increase from 2015 and a 135% increase over the last 10 years.
I could probably live the rest of my life comfortably. For $299 million. They're in
Probably. As though there's any question.
I found an engine for my truck that costs more than your car.
That's not saying much. I'm cheap. I bought a new car, but I was like, I'm gonna negotiate this thing cheaper than any new car I've found, and I did. In fact, I work with a guy that paid $6,000 more for his car, and it's the exact same vehicle.
Wow.
You wanna know what's different? The seats are slightly different colors.
Oh, that makes a whole big difference on the cost.
It could be like $2,000, but not 6.
Color of seats.
Could be. It costs more to get any color of paint but the one I had,
Yeah.
which was stupid. And my wife was a little irritated because I didn't get the base model right. I changed things in the performance that I thought made it better. But anyway, we're talking about bourbon.
Number 9. Nearly 60% of every bottle goes to taxes and fees. There are 7 different taxes on bourbon, including an ad valorem tax on barrels each and every year it ages. Distillers paid
Every year, you eat a 20-year-old bottle of bourbon, relatively rare.
it was taxed every year for
20
20
different
years.
times on aging alone before it got here.
Distillers paid $17,814,134 in ad valorem barrel taxes in 2017, which was an all-time high.
Probably because it was a ridiculously high year for production, and the government likes to tax people more.
Yes.
Taxation is what?
Ah,
Yeah, so your bottles, at least on their way to the producer, would be 60%, or not producer, on their way to the distributor would be 60% cheaper if Uncle Sam would just keep his grubby hands to himself. Now, do I argue that there should be no taxes on liquor? Not necessarily. This goes to benefit a lot of things, but I think 60% is way too high.
a lot of their the taxes that are implemented around these areas.
Went out
Over
anyway.
this,
Thanks. Let's just blow ash all over the desk.
There's already ash all over the desk.
You're helpful.
But a lot of it goes to the roads and their education, stuff like
Locally to Kentucky, right?
that. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a state thing, which I'm much more in favor of than.
I mean, there is a federal tax, but most of their taxes go to
Fun fact.
within state and local.
Bonus fun fact. There was a whiskey rebellion not long after we became a country because a tax was introduced on whiskey that favored large whiskey companies as opposed to small ones. And some people thought that tax was so unconstitutional that they rebelled against it. And although the government had to put it down, the result of that was Jefferson got elected and got rid of it. Thomas Jefferson. The more I read about him and George Washington, I'm starting to almost like Jefferson more. Like, if it wasn't for all of George Washington's cool military history and the fact that he didn't want to be president, he's probably our only president that didn't actually want to be president.
Well, yeah, because now I spend millions and millions of dollars to try to almost be president.
Yeah. But that's just a fun fact for the bonus. If you haven't heard of the Whiskey Rebellion, look it up. It's kind of cool. Also has something to do with why we had the right to bear arms. Fact number 10. U.S. distilled spirits topped $1.5 billion in 2013. Kentucky bourbon and Tennessee whiskey made up more than $1 billion of that amount, so more than 2/3. For those of you that, for whatever reason, can't do that math. Making it the largest export category among all U.S. distilled spirits, probably because it's the primarily U.S. native whiskey.
Maybe.
Still, really cool. So, there are our 10 fun facts about bourbon. Watch our cigar video on Friday. I'll update you on some Dirt Road Men stuff like I normally would do in this video, but I guess I couldn't wait because we filmed the cigar review before. So, that's all I have, but that's some fun facts about our favorite all-American drink, bourbon. And, yeah.
I want some pie.
Man. Some of my aunt's apple pie, which one living person still knows how to make.
Who's that?
Be amazing right now. Her son, John. What's he doing? Probably not making me pie. I don't know. If I called him right now and I was like, man, please. He might, if he's not busy. But Easter's tomorrow, so.
Hey, he's busy.
Happy Easter to those of you that celebrate it. I know we're late, but anyway, till we see you again, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jake.
We are the Dirt Road Men.